The channel has crossed 1 million views, and I am very thankful and humbled by all of the people that have come here and contributed their wisdom and their knowledge and their experience to the subjects that I have attempted to cover. I have said before, and I'll say it again, I am one guy. I have a limited skill set based on experience, and I will apply that to the very best of my ability. However, it will fail miserably in investigations such as this, and that's why I keep the videos to 10 to 15 minutes, so that people who do have the skill sets necessary for ascertaining the truth of this can bring them to bear. And I have seen more than one person with many, many decades of experience in the Navy aboard boats, big and small, come here and say that they don't believe this to be anything remotely close to what it's being reported to be. I'm also very, very blessed to live in a very small, beautiful town on the St. Johns River in Florida, just south of Jacksonville, Florida. Jacksonville, Florida is home to quite a few ships at Mayport Naval Station, 4 of which are Arleigh-Burke-class destroyers. And I was able to, by chance, have a conversation with a sailor who was stationed aboard one of these. And this person enlightened me to certain things and certain abilities of this ship that would lend me more to believe that the channel is going down the right road here. Based on this one anecdotal conversation, this sailor related that inside the Navy, there's absolutely no belief that this was an accident. And that's why the Navy is being very, very tight-lipped. So we're going to go forward, and we're going to go forward the way we always have, with conjecture, to some extent, analysis, and we're going to take what they give us and see if it jives with reality and fact. Now, just in the last week since we've been doing these videos, the 10 days, let's see, it was the 19th when this happened, today's the 28th, so it's not even. We have now uncovered 2 lies. We have uncovered a sailor that acted very suspiciously aboard a ship just almost like this. In the weeks prior, we have uncovered that there were 3 high-ranking members of the Marines, and the Marines are the Department of the Navy, that had incredibly high-level sensitive information compromised. Prior to this, we have uncovered that this exact ship had Philippine civilians aboard 10 weeks prior. We've also uncovered that the Philippines is overrun with ISIS. I think we have at least brought reasonable doubt to the table about the accident story. And there's one more thing I'm going to cover in this video. It's not going to be as long as many. But through my conversation with this individual from the Navy at Mayport, there are 3 very important pieces of information that need to be ascertained when you decide whether you are or whether you're not on a collision course with, quote unquote, with something else. You need to know the speed of both that vessel and yours. You need to know the direction of travel of both that vessel and yours. But you also need, from that other vessel, you need an aspect. And that's a very vague term, and I'm going to ask humbly that some men who have come to, and women who have come to the videos, who are experts in naval operations and ship operations, if you could, down in the comments, please do an outline of what aspect means from a naval perspective. The best I can do, honestly, without making this a 30-minute video, is just this definition here that's the positioning of a thing in a specified direction. And basically in this context, what it means is that you can see something and you can see what direction it's traveling and you can see what speed it's going, but you have to know its aspect. You have to know, is it showing you the entire length of it as it's crossing your path? Is it transiting at an angle to you so that you're only seeing a small cross section of it? Is it transiting it away from you? All that's very important. That's why 3D radar is an incredible tool, and all Arleigh Burke-class destroyers have it, because it can report that instantaneously. The computer figures all this stuff out. Now, we don't know that aboard the ACX Crystal they had that level of technology, but for the man to have made the decision to steer hard right 10 minutes prior to the collision, he would have had to have had some indication of this thing called aspect. It was also briefly mentioned a few videos back in the audio of the bridge of the USS Porter collision with the oil tanker in the Straits of Hormuz. And I think that's at about the 2.5 to 3 minute mark of that. So, important thing needs to be ascertained. So, we can say now, with probably 99% confidence, that the captain of the ACX Crystal had an aspect of some type on the destroyer. And in his statement, he said the destroyer didn't respond to his flashing his lights and didn't respond to anything else. He didn't say the ship, I didn't know what it was, or the contact, I didn't know what it was. He said the destroyer. And I've also said, and I think it was in the very last video or the one before that the guy didn't watch a video last night, stay at a Holiday Inn Express, and become a captain this day. This is the home of the 7th Fleet. This man has been operating on ships for a fairly long time. To be a captain, he would have to be. And in that area, it's probably at that time of night pretty easy to understand what you're going to be encountering as far as other ships. You're going to have other cargo containers, you might have a fishing vessel, but the outline of one of these ships, even at night, even from a distance, would be pretty easy. And when your bow crashes into one and you are negative 0.001 miles from it, meaning that your sonar boom is inside the other ship, even though your ship's 700 feet long, you know what you hit. So he knew what he hit when he said he didn't know what he hit before. So that's, to me, also kind of a lie and the nail in the coffin, that he wasn't on autopilot. He didn't come back to see what he hit. He knew what he was transiting across. And you can believe me, you can not believe me, you can think I'm full of it or not. But down here in this article, and this is the Navy Times, and I'm going to go right down here to the bottom. Quote, "It's virtually unprecedented. Lawrence Brennan, a retired Navy captain who now teaches admiralty law at Fordham University School of Law, said last week, quote, for two large ships, both operated by world-class shipping companies, to be in waters where they should expect traffic and not see each other boggles the imagination." I'll say it again. A retired Navy captain who now teaches admiralty law looks at this and is flummoxed as to how this could happen the way they said it could happen, the way they said it has happened. I apologize if this video has been a little bit more erratic. I'm just getting to the point where I'm beyond exhausted, and I'm probably going to take maybe a day and a half off to see what crops up with this. But I just wanted to cover this last piece of information and about the aspect, and I will let those who know a lot more about it take over the discussion on this. Just a little note about channel and comments. A lot of them, for some reason, and I don't know the rhyme or reason why they end up in the spam folder. I have to go in and I have to manually approve them. Don't think I'm deleting this. Don't think I'm deleting that, or not allowing this or not allowing that. I have pretty much let everything go. I have deleted a few comments that were just pure profanity without contributing anything. But the one thing I will leave you with is that I had a very wise grandmother that said, you're going to have friends and you're going to have enemies. You're going to have friends that are genuine, but you're also going to have friends that are going to be your friend because they have an agenda. And they're not going to truly be your friend. They're being your friend because they want something from you. And that's a very hard thing to ascertain. However, the people who don't like you, the people who are your enemies, are always going to be 100% genuine your enemy. No one's ever going to pretend to dislike you. So in your life, make sure you have the right enemies. So, anyway, I'll just leave you with that. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much. I'm humbled, and we will see you next time.